What's good? Salute everybody that's on deck, man. Um, yeah, I was on the road, so I decided to do like a in the AM type, you know what I'm saying, address. Like the president give his state of, you know, he gives his address. Saying he addressed the public, the civilians and everything. As you all know, we are getting closer to the day of all days, right? So I know there's some people who continue to feel some type of way and deeply immerse themselves in stressful situations. And I need to tell you, as I just need to keep it clear that you don't have to do that. Like, all of us is talking boxing at the end of the day. You don't have to immerse yourself into deeply stressful, attachments that you cannot really handle on your own. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes to this boxing talk, a lot of people are coming on board, thinking that you can shoot. Like, I know a lot of y'all, you're out for the summer. Your kids are turning you on the new stuff that's going on social media. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you're getting used to. And you're trying to try it out for the first time. But I'm going to be honest with you. Boxing talk is not something you just want to try out for the summertime. I hear and see a lot of new people speaking on this situation with Bud. And a lot of you dudes have been listening to other dudes who listen to other dudes who don't go to fights. So you pretty much saying the same thing that everybody else was saying that convinced y'all to get on here and try to talk this boxing. And then there are some females out there that's pretty decent with the boxing talk, no doubt. But when it comes to MMA females talking about it, them girls, them women are locked on. When I hear, the females talk that mixed martial arts, I was like, damn, they sharp. But when I hear some of these females talk boxing, it's almost like they just talking, in a general conversation. Like, what you're talking about as far as them wearing 2 gloves, a mouthpiece, trunks, shoes. You know what I'm saying? You know all the basic fundamentals to carry on the conversation. And also is this word called CAV, eat. It's called caveat. What's good? Town Biz on deck. I see you. It's this word called caveat, not caviar. Shout out Joseph Bailey. Salute. Not caviar. You know what I'm saying? It's caveat. That means you listen to what somebody else say and then you speak behind it. You know what I'm saying? And we have a lot of that going on, right? So I feel that since I am, within the YTC community, and I listen to all this, free talk. I know people love to say free smoke, but I listen to all this free talk. And I hear people that love to be around certain individuals that put all this cloud cover over Crawford heading into this fight. And I just want to touch bases. I know people get all happy if WCS highlight something that went on or something that was said. And I'm like, you shouldn't get hyped up because you're not getting no clout off me. I don't have no clout. You know what I'm saying? I'm just me. I don't have no clout. But it's a female that said on Knockdown 68 iPad that Crawford's corner, it's the weakest. Like, they don't know what they're doing. Crawford's corner, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to them making the decisions, he's gonna be in a bad predicament. And then she says something that Crawford's not mentally strong than Errol Spence. And stylistically, Errol Spence has the worst style. You know what I'm saying? This is all bad. She said, let me address the elephant in the ring. Listen, I never heard you talk. Obviously, the audio on your phone is pretty good, or you was at your PC at your desk. Kudos to you for your audio being loud enough so people can hear you talk that bullshit. And this is no knock on you. This ain't personal. But where did you come up with this conclusion that the discrepancies that you was putting off on a fighter that's 39-0? Listen to me, ma'am. Who put you up to this? You couldn't have did this shit on your own. You couldn't have did this shit on your own, walking up there, talking that bullshit. You know, talking about Crawford's corner, not being able to handle the moment. And saying stylistically, Arrow's style is all bad for Bud. Listen, he fought 2 motherfucking southpaws his whole career, right? Where do y'all find these bystanders at? Why do you all allow them to go and talk on your panel without correcting them? And then when a nigga do, correct and say, okay, please elaborate, all the other niggas jump in to defend them, knowing she said some fucked up shit. Then you got the dudes, right? You got the dudes like Knockdown. I would rather you and your people just talk boxing, because we already done seen you in debates. But when you start coming at people and talking about, I'll debate you, I'll kick everybody off the panel, off the panel. Nobody wants to see you kick everybody off the panel. It's better for you just to keep them cats on the panel to make it enlightful, conducive to the boxing fan. Not you kick everybody off the panel just so you can prove to another nigga you can rehearse and say the same shit. Now, let me address some shit Knockdown, because he loved when I got them bring his name up. Let me address some shit you said. You continue to ride off, I swear to God, you continue to ride off old ass shit. You said you respect the man that stayed 10 toes down in negotiation. Nigga, you didn't know nothing about the negotiation. Furthermore, when you talk about negotiation, you refuse to give any credit to Terrence Crawford, who pretty much has not been refuted in this particular presser, this new revelation since they signed the fight. He has not been refuted nor rejected based off the comments he made from Errol Spence. He said he called a man up in January. He didn't say Errol Spence called him up in January. You just overlooked that when you talking about 10 toes down and shit. I mean, what type of 10 toes you talking about? 10 prosthetic toes or 10 real toes? I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all are still stuck on Avenesian like y'all are Gamboa. And to me, that just shows that the learning curve of y'all getting past the critical period of learning back in the day, it still haunts you. It still haunt that you was in that class where y'all all had to hold hands going to the bathroom, and y'all had to stay really tight to one another. You know what I'm saying? And then when all y'all come out the bathroom, you had to hold hands again just to walk back to the classroom. I understand how special that you always thought you were back in the day. And you brought your special ass up here and try to start talking boxing. Now, Knockdown, I told you already, right? I say, nigga, when it comes to you dropping that N-word, I don't know who gave you permission on that side, right? But I don't know if you're fit. You use that word. All right? Well, we're gonna get back to that. I want to also talk about what Knockdown said about the jab. He's up here giving all this criteria about how you handle the jab. You have a high guard. You know what I'm saying? You have a high guard. And he's giving all these scenarios on how Errol Spence's jab is just going to be so effective. I'm saying to myself, it's easy to come up here and talk about how Errol Spence is going to have an effective jab and how Crawford is not going to be able to handle it because he's just Crawford. You know, as long as his name is Bud Crawford, he can do nothing right. Nothing right. So you're telling people all the scenarios on how Errol Spence can break down Bud Crawford with the jab, and Bud ain't going to be able to do nothing. Like, he has 39 victories, nigga. He has 39 victories. You don't think that the conversation is a bit stale when people like myself will say he had 39 victories, he's high on the pound for pound list, but yet when it comes to the pound for pound list, y'all say it's politics? That man has performed against some top elite competition, nigga, and you continue to say that Errol Spence has fought better competition and the jab is lethal and it's different. You know, when he lands that jab on you, it does way more damage and all this other shit that's going on. I mean, isn't that old news? That's old ass news talking about what a jab can do. That's old ass news, man. Don't nobody care about that. That's old news. You're not teaching anybody anything new about boxing by continue to say, well, Crawford ain't did this, he ain't did that. You know, Errol Spence his jab is just gonna be that incredible. I mean, his jab is just like unbelievable. Y'all busy spending too much time talking about Crawford's moral compass, so to speak. You act like you need to stand in the way of how this man is living by speaking about, you know, so-called actions that you don't agree with. Those actions is, oh, he didn't do this right, he didn't do that, he didn't want the fight, Errol Spence signed the contract. Y'all just be making up lies. The only reason this fight's happening July 29th is because of Errol Spence, because Spence said he had to give him what he wanted. But I'm saying, like, wouldn't y'all want to question the very same people that you said Crawford needs to go over there and do business with? Wouldn't you want to now question PBC? I mean, real talk, wouldn't you want to question them? Because seriously, before y'all was saying how he was you know, we talking about the matchmaking, we talking about him being the top rank and how, you know, it's such a bad decision. He leaves and attempts to negotiate. Y'all give him no credit. Why? Because y'all a bunch of haters, right? We know that. So pretty much, the nigga go over there and try to do business the first time, it falls through. And he goes and fight David Evanesian because he can. He's a businessman. Now, one time did I hear anyone mention you niggas on the YTC? Now, one time. I've never heard in my time of listening to this shit on YouTube that your name popped up as being a member of either team, whether it be Errol Spence or whether it be Terrence Crawford. I didn't hear y'all name. But y'all criticizing the man for negotiations falling out as if the premise of his negotiation or the terms that was in his negotiation, he didn't have the right to follow through and make sure those demands are met. Just because I'm using the word demand doesn't mean he wasn't making sure. You know, it's called negotiation. You know what I'm saying? Both of these guys had demands. Both of these guys. So when it boils down to it, if the fight, if one of the demands from Crawford, who agreed that everything was what it was, and they changed the year to 2023, what can Crawford do? You already said the man didn't have a promotion. So if he didn't have a promoter with him, the same thing y'all said, how did he expect to go over there and have any leverage? He's the B side, Spence the A side. You put it out there. You put it out there now. Real talk. You put it out there. So at the end of the day, you can't be mad. Look, you can't be mad that Crawford attempted to go in there and make the fight happen. A lot of you niggas was mad that he even attempted to make the fight happen because deep down inside, Y'all didn't want the fight to happen. You just wanted to continue for it to be in limbo. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. You want the fight to be in limbo so you continue to goddamn do live streams on the what ifs. Because you wanted to make it all controversy. You wanted to make it personal. So you didn't really want the fight to happen. But now, Crawford says it that he gave Errol Spence a call, and y'all just overlooked that. Y'all continue to act like, well, that really don't matter what he was talking about. That don't make any sense. We don't believe none of that. You got to believe it because Spence didn't deny it. He said he called him up, but y'all saying the only reason the fight got made is y'all listen to Errol tell you some, oh, I made the concessions. I gave him what I want. No, how? No, hold up. How did he give anything? Y'all forgetting how that shit worked. Bud say he called up Spence and he just went straight to Spence and they talked it out. Do you think that Errol Spence drafted up the paperwork and handed it to Terrence Crawford? Do you think that's how it happened? He drafted up the paperwork and him and Crawford met in this undisclosed location with a pen in their hand and they did it? That's not the way it worked. So why don't y'all smarten up just a little bit, man? I know it's difficult. You know what I'm saying? I know it's difficult, man. It's like giving a whale a tic tac. I know it's difficult for y'all to tighten up, dog. But Crawford said he hit him up in January. But y'all up here passing off narratives, talking about because Spence said that he gave him what he wanted. Why did he give him what he wanted? Because I remember a lot of you cats was up here saying what Crawford doesn't deserve and all that. You love talking about old shit. So why would Spence capitulate and give Crawford what he wants? You have to think about what you're saying. He gave Crawford what he wanted, and y'all are up here talking about, oh, well, I'm gonna use that to say the only one that made this fight happen is Spence. He the only one made the. And when you heard Crawford say, look, when you heard him say, I called this man up. But yet, the only thing you want to retain for information is when Spence was talking about, I gave him the concessions. They said, go ahead and give him what he wants. So pretty much, if Errol Spence, whoever told him to give him what he want, proves that y'all don't know shit about boxing, because you keep on talking about Errol Spence. Look, they keep on talking about Errol Spence made this fight happen. And he clearly say, T-H-E-Y, Dave. They pretty much tell you Dave. They said, give him what he wants. They said, give him what he wants. Who is they? They isn't Errol Spence. He's not talking in third person. So if y'all niggas know that, why are you up here acting like, oh man, Spence was the one who made that shit happen? No, Spence is a fighter just like Crawford. He said, they said, give him what he wants. Are y'all paying attention to language? Is it ASL? You know, I mean, come on. Are we doing this? I mean, what's going on here? Are we speaking straight up English or what? He said, they said, give him what he wants. He never said I. He never used first person. I gave him what he wanted. Because you know that's not his position. I mean, that shit ain't too difficult to figure out, man. Like y'all get mad. The first narrative was him going over there without a promoter and trying to deal with Al Hammond on his own, and that was the biggest fuck up ever. And he never should have did it. And then you get mad. Look, you get mad based off the fight didn't happen, but you neglect to say, well, at least he made an effort to go over there without the promoter and do something special I know he's trying to make the fight happen. He went over there with Dallas Promoter with his legal team and all that. Boom, he went over there. It didn't happen. But you keep on saying the man walked away and went and fought another fight after Arrow had signed the contract. Knockout. You don't know if he signed the contract. Stop lying, bro. Stop pushing these trash narratives, man. Talk about he signed the contract and all that. Bro, you need to stop lying as if you're there. All I'm saying, look, if you have all this information and you feel that you can rehearse, why don't you go train a fighter or something? Why don't you get in the gym? Because I do know dudes that's in the gym that do this content creation. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't one of them, bro. Excuse me. You ain't one of them. Knock down iPad. You ain't it. You're not in the gym. But you can sit up here and talk about all the common scenarios on how this fight gonna play out and how that fight. Nigga, are you in the gym with it? Somebody asked this nigga iPad. Knockdown 68 iPad. When are you in the gym to give all these scenarios? You barely hear me even talk about any predictions, all this shit, because it's pointless. Nigga, the best prediction overlay that I was given credit to was Virgil and Breadman when they was up there talking they talk. You know what I'm saying? I think they was on, was it the Fight Hub? I believe. I think it was Fight Hub, if I'm not mistaken. But the breakdown that they gave in a prediction, they was just talking about what needs to happen. You feel me? What needs to happen. That was the perfect breakdown. Like what needs to happen. This is what needs to happen. They need to get a sparring partner that's able to switch stances when he's talking about Errol Spence. And then they talk about how Bud needs to get someone that's a pressure fighter that can keep that tempo going, and have that kind of that format, because we all know in sparring, if you've been to the gym, they switch out fresh fighters. But that next fighter that's coming in, if the whole format is to keep pressure, and make Terrence Crawford work to emulate his opponent, then that's what it's going to be. They're going to switch the fighters out after a certain amount of rounds and keep that fresh fighter, that fresh fighter come in there and put that pressure on there, to even take Terrence Crawford to a whole, another level, another threshold. And in that perspective, I like how Breadman and Virgil gave the breakdown. But then I hear cats out here saying Breadman don't know what he's talking about, just dogging out Virgil. I was like, you niggas are very disrespectful with these vets, these OGs, and like, come on, man. Like, are y'all even, look, do y'all even know how to put hand wraps on? I'm just saying, do y'all know how to put hand wraps on? Do y'all know how to do any of a such? Do y'all know how to put hand wraps? Do you know how to put gloves on? I don't know. Do you know how to wrap your own hands? Do you know how to wrap your own hands? Period. I'm just curious. But anyway, back to the topic. It's just boxing talk at the end of the day. But you know how sometimes you hear people that's saying we're gonna all get together. We're gonna all get together and go clean up and pick up trash around the community and stuff like that. If I do a reaction on the video, all I'm doing is just cleaning up. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody that I do a reaction. I'm saying some of these people who really needs maintenance on their shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need maintenance. Y'all need policing, because you let people come in there along with yourself as a contributor, and you're not even saying anything of substance. You keep on rehashing the same stuff when it comes to Crawford Spence. Are y'all willing and able to accept that the fight is going to happen July 29th? Are y'all willing and able to accept that every time someone come up with a pro, when you're doing a pro and con comparison, are y'all willing to accept the good in each fighter? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if y'all ask me what's good in Errol Spence, I'll tell you what's good. But y'all niggas just act like I hate the motherfucker. I don't hate him. I just spend my time talking about his opponent being better than he is. I never seen so many people just feel quite soft and so mushy. You got a panel full of people, and I'm like, we're in 2023, and the fight is signed, but yet we still talking about shit that happened before BOK Prime. Y'all still up here acting like you putting Crawford on punishment. Nigga, you ain't putting him no goddamn where. Like, is he going on punishment? I don't know. Is he going on punishment or not? Somebody tell me, is he getting on punishment? The way these niggas talk, it's like y'all putting this man on punishment because you say he didn't do what he's supposed to do when he was supposed to do it. And then every time the pound for pound list come up, these bum ass freaking casuals, they'll sit up there and say, well, that's just politics. Nigga, if it was Spence in front of Crawford, y'all would be using that shit just like WCS use it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all would be up here every time using that as a sticking point. Well, you know, he's on a pound for pound list for this reason. No, I don't know. It's just politics. No, it's not politics. Now, be fair. Be fair. You know, Spence did this, this, and this. It's not politics. You know what I'm saying? It ain't politics. I'm like, God damn, can the man get any credit for anything rather than listening to this recycle? I mean, look, sometimes I ain't gonna lie, it gets so extreme that it's almost like, you know what I'm saying, you throwing shit in the dumpster and you see the dumpster juice combined with raccoon piss, you know what I'm saying? And you're just like, damn, that's a foul ass odor. And it's probably some skunks that been up in there too. I say, damn, this shit right here, this odor is different. I don't even think any damn air freshener can deal with this shit. Motherfuckers say that Terrence Crawford corner is pretty much none and void. Like this nigga should go to the fight and give himself water. There's nobody qualified in Terrence Crawford's corner. 39 victories, y'all. There's nobody qualified to get this man through the fight, man. There's nobody qualified. Shout out to Mr. Hot Grease, aka Mr. Sucker Free. What's good with you, bro? Salute to my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, dude, what's the hell going on with this? What's going on with that, man? I don't get it at all. They don't want to respect Bomac because they so in tune to the wrong thing. This is boxing. Nigga, pay attention to boxing. We have a fight coming up. That's what you should be paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? And then it comes into the intelligence. I hear people always talking about that Crawford and his team is dumb and they don't know this, that, and the other. You dumb for even talking about that. Because listen, if they was to have a way to for all you naysayers to get at least about 10 of you naysayers and provide you with 2-day boxing for you to run the gym. That means you work out the fighters, you get them prepared first of all. You get them prepared, you work out the fighters, and then you go through the whole routine for which these trainers do. A lot of you cats, first of all, wouldn't know any type of mitt routine. You wouldn't know how to really wrap the hands of the fighters. It's a lot of intricate details with getting the ring ready, getting the fighters ready. You know what I'm saying? What exercises, how to take them through a training regime. A lot of you cats wouldn't be able to do that. But I can tell you what you're able to do when you're online, nigga. When you goddamn be eating grilled cheese sandwiches You know what I'm saying? You up there eating them grilled cheese sandwiches. You over there snacking on them motherfucking sweets. Trying to tell everybody the perfect game plan on what's going to happen with Errol Spence is going to do this. You know, stop that shit. Because I know what's going to happen. You niggas going to come back on here on the 29th after the fight and say, well, if Errol Spence would have did what I said, because I had the perfect game plan. Y'all remember? Y'all remember when I said that shit on the panel? Y'all remember? If Errol Spence would have did this, he would have won the fight. If he would have did what I told him to do, he would have won the fight. You see that time where they was on the inside and Terrence tried to headbutt Errol? See, that's what I'm talking about. Terrence Crawford, a dirty fighter. The referee didn't catch that, but I did. He a dirty fighter. Man, this shit never stopped with these people. This shit never stopped, man. This shit is out of control. Seriously, it's out of control, man. It's out of control. This shit is out of control. And look, it really don't make me feel any type of way. It don't change my post at the end of the day. But all I'm trying to do is when you walk through a community and people that depend on you to like try to take care of some problems, this shit what other casuals is listen to veteran casuals. You know what I'm saying? We have casuals that's out here who are veterans because they talk the same shit all the time and say the same thing. And they sit up there and try to make it seem like they have the perfect game plan. You know what I'm saying? They know the ins and outs. They know every discrepancy of Terrence Crawford. Everything he does wrong. You can see how these aerosexuals act, right? When it comes to them talking about Errol Spence's jab, they'll sit up there and say, oh, well, what is Bud gonna do? What is he gonna do? Switch to southpaw? Man, please, he's gonna get eaten alive. He's gonna get eaten alive, right? He's gonna get eaten alive. They won't give Bud a chance in hell in going up here and saying, okay, Errol Spence had a couple of southpaws his entire career, right? So they act like Bud is incapable of adjusting on the fly because they say he never been in the ring with a southpaw like Errol Spence, man. And then Gooch to you said last night that Errol Spence has never been in the ring with a southpaw like Terrence Bud Crawford. So you pick and choose your poison. It's been fights where Crawford go in there and he switch hit. You know what I'm saying? He start off where he starts off, orthodox, he switched to unorthodox. But truth be told, the results have been what they are. The results have been 39 victories. The results have been 7 straight stoppages at welterweight. You know what I'm saying? What more do you want? Seriously, what more do you want? Do you want to continue to be told how you can retrieve their resume and look up their resume? You can go up on BoxRec and retrieve that information. And once you see the information, you will notice that he's still undefeated. While you up here telling people all these discrepancies of Terrence Crawford, and your only defense, look, this is their only defense, y'all. Their only defense is to say that he's fought trash opponents. Not only that, they say, oh man, he's not gonna know what to do when he steps in there with Errol Spence. He's not mentally strong, y'all. That's what they say. He ain't mentally strong. That's just hilarious stuff. I gotta just take a moment, man, to listen to some of this dumb shit these people be saying. Like, did you have a good night's sleep? Like, for real. They say if you pack some leaves on top of each other into a freaking grocery bag, that shit, It feels just like a posturepedic pillow. Maybe y'all niggas are not sleeping on the right pillow to get you where you need to be when sun breaks through and morning, is ushered in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something ain't right. Maybe you didn't fill up the air mattress the way it's supposed to, and you felt like the floor was just a little bit harder than usual. I don't know how to gauge y'all niggas. Like, you saying the man has never had an opponent like Errol Spence. So that is why on this day, Terrence Crawford is not going to be able to know what to do, man. He is not going to know what the game plan is. He's not going to be able to know anything about what his job is. He's not going to be able to do any of that. That's just amazing to me. It's just hilarious. It's about he never fought a southpaw like Errol Spence, and then all of a sudden, if one person grab hold of a turd, you know what I'm saying, and they say it don't stink, and it's okay for everybody else to do it, then they all grab hold of the turd, right? And that's what we're running with. They grabbing hold of this turd and saying, this jab is just something special. Like they ordered this jab. This jab was special made. It was reinforced. I'm like, what the fuck? This is the same guy who is going the distance with these guys and going into the late rounds, but yet you're talking about a jab? And this is the culminating moment. They'll speak about Spence jab breaking niggas down, right? But when it comes to Crawford breaking niggas down and stopping them, throughout his career, right? I'm talking about quality opposition, right? You know what they say? That's what he was supposed to do when he broke down that opposition. He was supposed to, because they wasn't anything. And that's just not true. They were saying his opposition wasn't nobody. They was trash. That's why he broke them down. But when it comes to Errol Spence, they act like somebody that was in the welterweight division longer than Crawford. Why did it take you so long if, while Crawford was doing what he's supposed to do when he came in the professional ranks? He was doing what he's supposed to do. He picked up 2 divisions before he got to your division. But yet, when you hear these niggas, they talking about, oh man, you had 4 years, and 4 years he put away 2 divisions. Within that one division, he became undisputed. What did you hear Crawford say? It was B-Hop and Jermaine Taylor. I was on a short list of fighters in the four-bear era that become undisputed. So who was more productive? I had productivity, and when I turned professional, I had productivity. But with Spence has been in the so-called welterweight division for quite some time. So you tell me. When it comes down to it, you tell me. How does that work? Y'all are up here debating Crawford coming into professional ranks before Spence. But yet Spence has been campaigning at the welterweight for quite some time, and you have an issue with where he's at right now. He's on his 3rd division. Can y'all count 1, 2, 3? Is 3 higher than 1? Y'all aerosexuals say, yeah, it's 3 is higher than 1 because he has 3 belts and Bud Crawford has 1. No. I'm talking about, it's 3 higher than 1 when it comes to divisions, boxing divisions. It's 3 higher than 1. It's 3 higher than 1. If 3 is higher than 1 when it comes to divisions, and you understand when you accredit Spence having 3 belts and Crawford only 1, well, you have to compare them together as having the same ratio. You know what I'm saying? You have to compare that ratio as being correct in both scenarios, both problems. You know what I'm saying? Both formulas work out. 3 divisions is higher than 1. 3 titles is higher than 1. But overall, the body of work in boxing, what you do in one division carry over to the next division. So it continues to accumulate. You know what I'm saying? So if you become a champion in that division and you leave that division, you still recognize as a former champion. Just ask Manny Pacquiao. Every time they say 8th division champion Manny Pacquiao, they give him his credit for all the other divisions he was world champion. So they can do that for Manny Pacquiao, which a lot of niggas don't even know who Manny Pacquiao fought back then. But when it comes to Crawford and who he fought, oh man, don't nobody know him, man. don't nobody know Ricky Burns. Who is Ricky Burns? He wasn't nobody. You know, him and Albanesian was the same dude. I'm not gonna say this shit gotta stop, because it's not gonna stop. But the good thing about it, I know that these naysayers on the YTC can't stop this time from ticking. You can't stop this time from ticking. Seriously, you can't stop it from ticking. That's a good thing. You can't stop this shit from ticking, y'all. I'm continuing to critique the nonsense people say, so maybe they can hear me. Ask them, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you talking like that? I'm saying, why you continue to talk about what Crawford can't do? Like, what gyms have you been in? How much sparring have you witnessed? I mean, where are you getting this criteria from? You know what I'm saying? When niggas are talking about shit let me talk about the elephant in the ring, and you talk about Crawford's corner not being qualified to go in there and coach Crawford through this fight come July 29th, you really need to slap yourself. Seriously, you really need to slap yourself, because that shit don't make no sense at all. When have you ever seen the corner reach a point of failure? The fighter's confused, the corner's confused. What's going on, Toby? How you feeling? Shot News and Sauce Experience. What's good, Showtime? We never seen the corner confused, none of that shit. We never seen none of that shit be true, man. But yet you hear these motherfuckers talk like, you know, Crawford's corner, they're incapable. They're unqualified. They haven't had enough experience. 39 motherfucking victories, and you heard Crawford say, I like having my day ones around, people that I know. But when it comes to, you know, the one trainer that they pay attention to, they don't pay attention to the other two. They just home in on Bomac. And see, that's where the stupidity and ignorance come in at. Because he has various amounts of people, to include his mind, that is coming up with a solid game plan to go in there and fight Spence. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. It's a team effort. That's a team effort over there, man. And at the end of the day, man, the fighters have to go in there, and at some point in time, if they need to make decisions, that's why they train the fighter. The fighter gets trained, and he has to go in there for 3 minutes per round and try to make it happen if you're a male fighter. So, I mean, shouldn't they be able to make decisions? Yes, they should. They should be able to make decisions. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. They should be able to go in there and make decisions, and decisions that, for them, they have confidence that it's going to be effective and it's going to work for the game plan. But just to say that Crawford team and Crawford doesn't have the mental edge, I mean, what has Bud said that make y'all feel like he's mentally weak? Are y'all just pushing propaganda? Because if y'all niggas pushing propaganda, you can't respect yourself for that. Like, you pushing propaganda now? Y'all just want to sit up here and say the man ain't mentally strong based off what? What kind of questions did they ask him on ESPN First Take to give you the impression that this man ain't mentally strong? Who gave you that impression? What's going on, Samar? How you doing? Salute to you. Good morning. I'm curious, y'all. What is the comment that, you know, when Crawford was asked, that made you think he's not mentally strong? Do y'all grown ass adults just talk out your face? Like what answer did he provide to y'all to give you the impression this man ain't mentally strong? Seriously. I mean, help me understand this morning. It's Friday. It's Friday. What was his words to have y'all and look, for those of you hosts that have these individuals on your panel rambling on about this nonsense, you are wrong. You're just as wrong as they are. Because every time somebody says some dumb shit like this and you don't even correct them, and you continue to act like, okay, let me one up them. So they just said Crawford could barely read. And then I'm gonna go on top of them and say, yeah, since he can barely read, how is he gonna go in there and pay attention to what they got to say? Even though when you receiving instructions in the ring, it's straight up verbal. But instead of the host saying, oh man, that's some dumb shit you said, you know, what does reading got to do with this? They'll just come behind and say, yeah, if he can't read, he definitely ain't gonna be able to, you know, take instructions in the ring. I'm like, God damn. This why people be like, damn, it's no need for me to show up to YTC sometime. I need to take a break from it because all this propaganda that's out here being put into the motherfucking sewer system, and they just want to treat it like it's an oasis. Nigga, when you start hanging out in the sewer systems and you think that shit is goddamn euphoric to smell all that shit, and you're not correcting these motherfuckers in here talking shit, I mean, you just as far as they are. You just as far as they are, dog. This man is not mentally strong to be in there. So why is he in there then? How did he win the belt and keep it? Nigga, shut your ass up. Y'all sound stupid. 7 fights, Jeff Horn big ass, defend the title 6 motherfucking times. And nigga still talking about David Avanesian and Gamboa. Nigga, you still talking about David Avanesian and Gamboa. The man has already completed the fight and moved on to the next. Said he called up Spence in January, but when they talk about it, they say, oh, if it wasn't for Spence, this fight wouldn't be getting made. All based off the strength of them believing everything Spence says. I got words for that. Come on now. Come on now. You're not gonna question if he's telling the truth or not. You're not gonna question that shit. For real, you're not gonna question that. I'm just saying, help me. What's going on, everyone? Hey, it's Friday, bro. Salute to everyone that's tuned in. I just had to come on here and address, you know, a lot of stupidity, and the stupidity is only going to grow much more than what it is right now, because we're getting closer to the fight. And I was just some nervous individuals, and you know, that have nervous energy. They want to get a reaction from certain people, and I have no problem breaking down, you know, certain people's panels. You know, some will be good, some will be bad, some will be in between. But I just thought on that white dude, what's his name, Knockdown 68 TV. I just think, you know, some of the people that he had on this panel before, they're not holding accountable. If someone comes on there and say some dumb shit, but yet they're an Errol Spence supporter, that doesn't mean you're just supposed to say, yeah. That's what it is. And you know, they just said some dumb shit. So if they come up there and say something and they sound like an absolute casual temporary boxing fan, and you don't correct them on that, you have just became them. You have just enabled them to believe they can come on your panel and talk some trash like that because you didn't correct them. You know Terrence Crawford an elite fighter, but you have people on your panel saying that he's not an elite fighter. And the reasons behind he's not an elite fighter, because of his competition. Hey, so the man has never in his life, y'all, when you hear these people speak It's almost like they have never watched a fight of Crawford's, but they've seen all the interviews. They've seen the panels. Look, you know how much effort it takes to go and watch a fight of a fighter that you are not in favor of? You know how much patience, you know how much, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have a passion for the sport to go look. Like, they would say, okay, well, you don't say nothing good about Spence, and you being a hater. I have motherfuckers coming here to I unsubscribe to your channel. I'm like, hey, I never knew you were sub to the channel, but since you left over something so easy, cool. You wasn't strong enough to be over here anyway. It's all good. But I will look at Spence fights, because when debates like this come up, you have to know certain fights that he had and how he looked, and certain, actions that he chose to take, by his punch placement and everything, and how he chose not to move during this exchange right here, and what happened during the exchange of him getting hit, or he was being able to land some punches on his opponent. You need to look at the fighter that you always debating against. You have to look at the fights. You have to see his strengths and weaknesses. You have to see, do they have habits? And Spence, saying that he's going to step, okay. But it was somebody who said something that makes very good sense. Like, you all trying to act like that Terrence Crawford is never going to counter any of the shots that Errol Spence sends his way. When I hear Knockdown 68 iPad talking about the only, when you provide the only, you really don't watch boxing that much. When you say a fighter can only, you don't watch boxing. Because I've never heard somebody say the only way a fighter can do this. Like somebody said over there, in order for them to not negate a jab, to basically mediate a jab, to pretty much stay safe from a jab is distance. And you was like, man, I know you just didn't say that. But when you look at the scheme of things, if someone is on the end of Spence's jab just outside range and it doesn't land, that's a habit that you will see with Terrence Crawford once he starts to get the distance down, and Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson did it with Conceição in his match, where he was just outside Seau's freaking jab. I mean, I'm talking about not even half an inch. And he'll pop that jab, and immediately it's almost like a pull counter. Like he boom, he pulled that shit out, leaned back at the waist, and people was criticizing Shakur for that. And then he came back, and before you know it, Seau was just eating that motherfucking counter shot. So they was trying to insinuate the distance has nothing to do with that jab resistance and not being touched by it. That's just no way. And when you say shit like that, it's just stupid. Like, you know the sweet science consists of everything that encompasses a fighter looking the way they look. Not only looking the way they look, but the results they get from the way they fight. So you've had fighters be wild brawlers. You have fighters that's technically sound. You have fighters that can come in here like Jerron Anderson style and be fluent and do some things that every fighter can't do with his footwork. Every fighter can't move like that and dance around their opponent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to practice some shit, and it's just like going to the club. You can go to the club with a bunch of boxers, but you got 5 boxers went to the club, and only one of them may get on the dance floor. The other 4 is like, man, I can't dance. But nigga, you a boxer. Yeah, I'm a flat-footed boxer, nigga. What you saying? Everybody can't get out on the floor and dance. Everybody can't get out there and dance, man. You get one boxer to get out there and dance and have fun, be in rhythm. That's an important factor when you're talking about movement. They say that distance, try to make it seem like distance don't have nothing to do with punch resistance when it comes to a jab. Come on, bro. Distance is an intricate part of the boxing game. That's why it's called foot movement. That's why you practice on forward, back, forward, back, side, and different movements so you can get in habit and you become fluent with moving around your opponent. What more do you want? Who said you need to go in there and get anchored down like you got cinder blocks on your feet and you barely able to move around the ring? Who? That shit is crazy, bro. And see, I find it just, habitual hating when somebody will say some shit like, hey, distance with the jab and all that, and someone shut it out. No, the only way you can do that, you take a high guard or you do this right here, knock down. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, nigga. See, you're the type of nigga that'll pretty much complain about holding mitts and talking about your hands hurt. You know what I'm saying? You the type of nigga that'll hold mitts and talking about this was harder than I thought. Y'all niggas act like y'all had a perfect game plan to all these top fights. When you're not in the gym and you can't even cover a fight on your own, dog. Come on, man. You already know what it is. You seen it go down. You seen what we do out there, the front liners, and what we do. You niggas act like you never been in the gym before. The way you talk, when the last time you even been in the gym and just volunteered and helped out? If you are not in the gym and not going to these fights and learning more about the sport, why are you so happy to get on here and come up with these ironclad scenarios, these freaking all or nothing type zipped up narratives, as if you are speaking the absolute scripture and truth about this shit? It's just your opinion, bro, but you speak on it as if it's facts, and it's not. It's not facts. It's far from it. Real talk, dude. Real talk. It's not even close to being factual. Let me be honest. It's not even close to being factual. The shit you talking about, you couldn't even execute if you was in sparring. But you'll sit up here and tell people, hey man, I'll debate any Terrence Crawford supporter. I mean, we don't need to see that because we already don't witness the massacre, dog. We witnessed you niggas getting destroyed on panels. We witnessed that already. What's the point of debating, dog? You know what I'm saying? Hey, one thing y'all are hoping and wishing going into this motherfucking fight is that the judges is the same way that I seen on your panel them knocked down. You know what I'm saying? Knocked down. You hope them judges are already selected and picked, and they're gonna show that extreme biasness. That's what you waiting on. But over here, we got faith that Crawford's gonna go in there and get the shit in and get it done and over with. You know what I'm saying? Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. I mean, they hear y'all narrative. The man don't have no power, goddammit. So what the scheme that y'all have in place about these judges and everything, it should work out just fine for y'all. Seriously, it should be good. It should be good. Real talk. It should be good. No doubt about it. This shit should be absolutely perfect. This shit should be absolutely perfect. This should be the absolute perfect motherfucking game plan for you all. Real talk. They don't want to get credit at all to Crawford, man. No, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I can't call it. Showtime. I don't pay attention to it. I just be walking through, frolicking through the YTC just to see what these niggas talking about. And it's pretty much the same shit. If I roll up on a panel and niggas are still talking about Avanesian, it make me think these niggas wear the same drawers all the time. It's like, nigga, you wear the same dirty ass sock. Like, nigga, when you finish eating, you just lick the fork and put it over there on the counter and say, okay, I'll use it again. That way I don't have to wash it. It ain't dirty because it's my own saliva. So I'm going to keep on using that fork. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep on using that fork. I'm just going to rinse this plate off right quick and goddamn just put it over there and dry it off. It don't need to be washed. It ain't got no residue on it. I'm like, damn. These are the type of niggas that use the same bath water, dog. I'm not going to lie, dog. They'll tell you some dumb shit, Showtime. They'll say, look, how am I wrong for using the same bath water and I'm using soap to clean my body? The soap, once it rinses off me, it's cleaning the water. It's only cloudy like that because of the contents for which the soap is made out of. That's why the bath water is cloudy like that. But the purities from the soap is in the water. So I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I can use that. It's building my body up. It's building up the immune system in my body. You know what I'm saying? It's building up the white blood cells to continue to fight off these diseases for me using the same bath water. That's the way they do it in Africa. Yeah. That's the way they do it in Africa, bro. Man, when they be in the little ponds and lakes and stuff, do you think they change out the lake water? They be telling you some shit. You think they change out the lake water? No. So that's why I'm saying I'm going back to my roots, man. This dirty ass bath water, shit, all you gotta do is run a little bit more hot water in there a little bit and continue to just take a bath in there, man. And yeah. It's your dirt. It's your body. It's your soap. How can the water be dirty? I used soap last time I was in here. They gonna tell you some dumb shit like that, bro. Real talk. They keep on talking about the same shit last year. I'm serious. These are the type of people, man, that never change their car oil. They never change their car oil, man. Seriously. Real talk, man. They'll tell you some shit like, I barely even see that right there. It just when they reset your oil thing, it's not really, when it gets down to 20%, it's not really that. That's just based off the computer of the vehicle. But really, I haven't drove nowhere that I really dogged out my car. So the engine oil ain't doing too much. Like, it's still good. Like, I just got it changed. I ain't really did anything. I can see if I went travel, you know, from here to Florida, but I ain't really did anything. I'm good. Shit, for real, I'm good. I mean, my oil is straight. You know? I don't get these niggas. They still talking about Avanesian. Gamboa, nigga. They still talking about Avanesian, and they want to be respected as having legitimate boxing topics. You're still talking about something in 2022, nigga. Like, what's wrong with y'all? You're giving the fight a clout based off fighting a fighter that you give no clout to. Crawford ain't shit, right? That's what y'all say. Crawford ain't shit. But yet you keep on boasting up Avanesian's name from fighting Crawford. Why do y'all continue to talk about who Crawford fought and give Avanesian all this exposure when you pretty much keep them relevant? You're keeping Avanesian relevant by facing Crawford. And why you talking about Crawford? This is the dude that say he ain't fought. You say he ain't fought nobody. He don't have no skills. He ain't mentally strong. But nigga, if you keep on talking about a fighter who isn't mentally strong and don't have skills, that means you're the dumbest boxing fanatic I know, because you're talking about shit that really don't make sense in boxing. You're wasting your oxygen talking about a boxer who ain't doing shit that you like. There's nothing that Crawford's doing that you like and appreciate, you respect, for him being a boxer. So why are you talking about him? You don't hear me talking about Spence like that all the time. I do a thumbnail on him and I'll talk or whatever, but I do not talk about Spence like y'all talk about Crawford. Y'all niggas literally talking about a boxer who you don't believe in. I talk about a boxer who I believe in. You niggas talk about a boxer that you don't care about. You talk about a boxer who doesn't have any skills in your eyes, who hasn't fought nobody. So my question to y'all, why do you continue to talk about a boxer who doesn't fit your standards as being an elite fighter in the professional ranks? Why are you doing that to yourself? Speak about Boots Ennis. If he's the next one, the next lion, speak about Boots. You know what I'm saying? He is the next lion in line now. He's young in the game. Speak about him. So if, you know, 35-year-old Crawford, you know, because I've already debunked all that other bullshit y'all was talking about, that fighters was too old and all this shit. And then Spence coming up talking about how fighters was old. But he's 33 years old. And he fought some of the fighters that people ranting and raving about. But then he forget, damn, you up here saying they was a shell of themselves when they fought Crawford, but yet you just as old as they are heading in here to July 29th. So if their fighter that you're talking about, Sean Porter and Kell Brook was old, what about Yordenis Ugas, one of the oldest fighters out of this whole equation? You went 10 rounds with an old, antiquated fighter, and you're 33 years old. So what that say about you when you look at Spence fighting Kell Brook and Sean Porter, who's a little bit younger than yourself when they went in there and fought Crawford? But you saying they're a shell of themselves and they passed their peak. That was what you said about Sean Porter. So that means, Spence, you're past your peak. Spence is past his peak, y'all. And look, get it together. Either they passed their peak or they're in their peak. They're in their prime. And which one is it? Because one fighter is 33, one is 35. Make up your motherfucking mind whether you want to support the fighters or you want to just go somewhere else and leave it alone. Because when y'all talk about this age, y'all really not breaking it down. Y'all not really scenario-based thinkers like that. Y'all just up here listening to other panels talk about, well, you know, Errol Spence said that Kell Brook is a shell of himself, and goddamn Sean Porter. But what about Lamont Peterson when you fought him? I hear people give you credit for Lamont Peterson. Was Lamont Peterson at his peak? Was he in his prime when you fought him? I mean, let me know. Was he? Was he in his prime? I mean, you fought some pretty questionable fighters. Lamont Peterson and freaking Yordenis Ugas was pretty old fighters when you fought them now. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty old fighters. Danny Garcia, he was in his 30s. Sean Porter was in his 30s. Kell Brook was in his 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this peak thing? Y'all Spence fans, whatever you call it, your aerosexuals, y'all need to do your mathematical breakdown instead of just coming here speaking English all the time and talking about language and verbiage that you heard on other people's show. Start doing the age comparisons. You know, when it comes down to the discrepancies, start breaking down the discrepancies when it comes to people saying age is a factor. You know what I'm saying? Start breaking that shit down. If you say that Terrence Crawford doesn't have any knockouts, well, just look and define what a knockout consists of. Is it KO or TKO? What's the definition of language for TKO vice a KO? And don't come up here talking about he ain't knocked out nobody. Nigga, if the fight was stopped by the doctor, it's a TKO, nigga. If the corner throw in the towel was a TKO. If freaking Kenny Porter jump up on the ring apron with a towel in his hand, it's considered a TKO. So just because you're mad and upset and unwilling to accept what the rules are, doesn't negate the fact on Terrence Crawford's resume, it's going to say TKO. It's going to say KO. And look, y'all sit up here and y'all say, well, that ain't a KO. Bitch, what does it matter? What does it matter? Because, you know, Spence ain't up here with a one punch knockout. You know, everybody can't beat Gervonta Davis going in here knocking motherfuckers clean the fuck out. It's been even cats get up from Davis's freaking punches. Ryan Garcia, believe it or not, the way he took Luke Campbell's punch, Knowing Luke Campbell don't have the power with Gervonta Davis and the way he got up from Gervonta Davis's left hand, I was surprised. It's just all about how they land the punch. But then he ended up stopping them from a body shot. And this is one of the areas where they say Terrence Crawford is not going to be able to survive, dog. Look, y'all niggas keep acting like Crawford is not going to be able to return fire on this nigga. Like, are y'all thinking this is going to be like Chuck E. Cheese, where you have a punch machine and whoever get the highest punch, you know, rating wins the round? I mean, niggas, get me in line. Help me. Hey, spin me up. Somebody spin me up. What we got going on? Can somebody just spin me up to where we at right now? I need some information now. I need some education if y'all can help me out. Real talk. Just help me out. That's all I need for you to do, man. Because it seems like we have a lopsided affair heading into July 29th. We have a lopsided affair, y'all. We got dudes that have went from 1 through 101 on areas of Crawford's game that will allow him to not be successful come July 29th. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be successful per the discrepancy list that all these aerosexuals have put together. His mental, he's not smart enough. Due to the competition that has been talked about by Errol Spence trainer and Errol Spence himself, he ain't fought nobody. Nobody. Nobody, right? So if you're taking a fighter who has fought nobody, 39-0, that means there's no way that this fighter could have improved or prepared himself to step in the ring with Errol Spence Jr. come July 29th. Why? Because he have never stepped in there with nobody the caliber of Errol Spence Jr. So I asked myself, is there somebody else before Errol Spence is on Crawford's record that can be given credit? Any fighter who's a former champion or undisputed? You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing some accolades out there. Undisputed 2, 3, 4 times. Is the fighter out there that was undefeated? I'm trying to put the uns in there. You know what I'm saying? Is it somebody that Crawford beat to put him into this equation and people respect the shit to pay for it? Because they saying it ain't nobody on his resume that's been the likes of Errol Spence that's qualified for him to be in there and fight Errol Spence. So if the man fought Jeff Horn for the first fight at welterweight, and Jeff Horn beat Manny, right? Do y'all give Jeff Horn the same credit with Manny Pacquiao, who was past his peak, and he went in there and beat a younger Keith Thurman, but lost to an older Yordenis Ugas, right? I'm talking about older as in the peak. Yordenis Ugas, 34 years old, the peak. Yordenis Ugas, the peak. He's past his prime. Does Yordenis Ugas get credit for fighting an older Manny Pacquiao? The same Manny Pacquiao that Errol Spence was jumping at the bit to go in there and put on his resume? Huh? How does this work exactly? Real talk, how does this work? How do we set up a system where we can get credit to enhance the FICO of Terrence Bud Crawford heading into this fight July 29th? I need some answers. I just need for you to help me out as always. How do we do it? Because that's just straight up hating. You never heard me say that Spence just didn't have the mental, he's this, and that. I talked about public record shit. I talked about his resume per who they fought and when he fought him and how his performance value was to give him his appraisal. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about Crawford, I'm talking about you, the aerosexuals. You speak with such vile intent, hatred. You know what I'm saying? You are extremely agitated. Look, Crawford hasn't did nothing. Nothing. You cannot, look, they don't give him credit for doing nothing. If the man has had a shitty ass professional career, I said this before, he should not be able to go in there and be competitive against Errol Spence Jr., who has been at welterweight way longer than Crawford. And in their eyes, he has the better resume. He has the better resume. So since he has the better resume and Crawford hasn't fought nobody, he's undeveloped. You know what I'm saying? He's still in the embryonic stages of learning boxing. His mind, you know, because the boxer needs to be mentally strong. His mental blades are dull. You know what I'm saying? He never really built up his experience as a professional fighter for him to be considered to have or possess a boxing IQ. So he's deficient when it comes to the boxing IQ, which makes him a dumb fighter, no skills. His opposition don't count it, and his coaching staff has allowed this to go on year after year after year. So this coaching staff is to blame too for Crawford being one of these guys who is just holding a position. And the reason why he's holding position, because he's been able to skate. He's been able to skate through the professional ranks. 3 divisions, y'all. This nigga was able to skate through 3 divisions and get to where he's at right now to be able to call up Errol. I finished off David Avenesian. I just want to know, man, you want to spin the block? Let's go. I'm ready. Let's go, man. And you want to do it or not? Let's go. I'm ready. For this man to call up Errol Spence, the granddaughter, the Dunn daughter, the Dunn daughter as they call him, call up Errol Spence to make this fight. Not even taking in consideration, you aerosexuals, that this man never put Bud Crawford on the easy route list. That is just insane. This man don't have shit going on in his career. One of the most dumbest, illiterate, deficient fighters, along with no support team. His freaking resume sucks all to be damned. But yet it still wasn't enough for this nigga to put Bud Crawford on the easy route. The easy route, y'all. Why wasn't that Omaha Monster on the easy route, y'all? Why wasn't he on the easy route, man? I just want to ask you that question. Why wasn't Bud Crawford on the easy route? This nigga ain't did shit. I mean, just help me understand on this Friday. Help me get through the weekend. Why this nigga wasn't on the easy route? Can somebody explain that shit to me? This dude has not done anything to be compared top pound for pound. That's politics, they said. That's politics. So when you unpack Crawford's entire career, if you listen to an aerosexual tell you about this shit, right? It is one of the biggest scandals ever in the sport of boxing. You know why? Because this man is about to, look, he's about to step into Vegas. And we don't know what the odds are going to be, but he's about to step into Vegas. And he's about to fight a fighter who's supposed to be on the pound for pound list with him. And no one knows why he's even there, y'all. This is the biggest scandal ever in boxing. Bud Crawford, at the end of the day, has somehow scammed his way into the welterweight division and somehow picked up a WBO title off an undefeated 18-0 Jeff Horn, who has a Manny Pacquiao in his shit, and you're up here telling me that this is not book worthy? I'm about to go home today and write and start this motherfucking book. I just came up with an idea. I'm about to get paid. The biggest scandal in professional boxing is Bud Crawford and how he was able to have no qualified competition. You know what I'm saying? Earn all these accolades based off the lowest ring IQ, nigga. The lowest ring IQ. You know what I'm saying? They say this man don't have no ring IQ. This dude is not mentally strong, dog. But the biggest question, I'm going to title my book, you never put him on the easy route. Dumb enough not to be the easy route. Something like that. Dumb enough not to be the easy route. Why didn't Errol Spence put this man on the motherfucking easy route, dog? Huh, aerosexuals? Y'all came up with a whole list of shit. Why didn't Errol Spence? I don't want to hear no promotion, same side of the street bullshit, none of that. Why was Errol unable to add Bud Crawford to the easy route? If he would have been able to take care of that business, fighting Sean Porter and Dennis Ugas, if that's the way it would have played out, you would have been undisputed already. Why didn't Errol Spence put this undeveloped, unqualified Omaha elite fighter who has scammed his way to the top in front of, and look, in front of millions? This man has fought all over the place. He is fighting in his backyard. He scammed his own community in Omaha, Nebraska, y'all. This man has went around and scammed the fuck out of people, picking up titles under false pretenses. It seemed like he did enough to pick up the title, but when it was replayed and the aerosexuals assessed the performance value, come to find out, per day performance value, he didn't win. The competition wasn't the value, the appraising value, the stock of the competition. It wasn't considered elite. It was lower tier, below average. So therefore, in order for you to be considered to what people are talking about as far as this elite status with Bud Crawford, his competition has to be there. And being that Ricky Burns was a champion, no, that doesn't qualify him. You know what I'm saying? All these undefeated fighters, no, that's not qualifying. The aerosexuals say they were not enough for Spence to acknowledge that this man has fought somebody in his career. The first thing he says when they start to engage in California on their first press tour, even if somebody told you to rehearse that shit, nah, man, you ain't fought nobody. You ain't fought nobody. Okay then, nigga. If you are saying this man ain't fought nobody, guess what? I expect you to go in there and do something that the aerosexuals are expecting you to do, and they have confidence that you can do. You know what that is, big dog? That is, you go in there and step, okay? You go in there and step. And you step again, and you step again, and you step again. That's all you need to do. You go in there and you become that stepper. You know what I'm saying? You become that stepper. Because I'm going to tell you something that's not a secret. Certain places and certain directions that you step to, you don't always make it to your destination, homie. So you go up here and you step in the name of, you know what I'm saying? And guarantee you, the person that's you're stepping to is going to return some type of action that you've given them, since we're talking about boxing. So you step into him with this glorified, I'm talking about this prestigious jab. Lord God Almighty, can you show me a sign Can you show me a sign on this immortal jab? Did we see this jab? Is this the type of jab that his whole entire right arm is going to be blue because it's enriched with vibranium? Is he going to have, is this the truth? Do they not have vibranium? Hey, Omaha, get some of those people in the gym to go dig for that vibranium, because I think that's the cheat code. For real, I think he's going to come in there and his shit going to be goddamn going blue. You know what I'm saying? Look, if Arrow walked to the ring and he have on a motherfucking Panther outfit, it's over. I know that nigga found out what the vibranium was, for real. I'm gonna have to call up Coach Malachi and say, Coach, you ain't gonna believe this shit. You was dogging out the Wakandans, but somehow Team Spence, they went in there and found out what the vibranium was. And this nigga arm is glowing blue. That's why the aerosexuals been talking about this jab so much. This nigga right arm is all blue now. Like my shirt. But it's glowing. Damn, shawty. I figured it out. I broke the code. I broke the motherfucking code. Seriously, y'all. Seriously. I've been trying to figure this shit out. It's all about vibranium now, because they talk about that jab like this shit cannot be touched. Like, yeah, you know, like, I found it out. I broke the motherfucking code, y'all. If you go back to Mikey Garcia's shit, now they just adding stuff. Oh, Mikey Garcia, he barely survived the jab. Okay. I don't know what fight y'all was watching, but Chris Algieri didn't survive the jab. Lamar Pearson didn't survive the jab. Like, you got all these motherfuckers that didn't survive the jab, dog. But Danny Garcia and Udenis Ugas after the accident, Terrence Crawford is gonna go shorter distance with these dudes. I got it. I got it. I hope you all have understood another part of me just speaking to my supporters of the channel. Salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all pulling up. To the aerosexuals, it is extremely difficult to educate y'all without getting compensated. It's extremely difficult for me. But I was put on here to teach one. You know what I'm saying? To teach one and slap the fuck out of one. You know what I'm saying? Because some of you niggas just don't listen. Teach one and slap the fuck out of one. You know what I'm saying? Because as much as I get on here and tell you all, if you say that Crawford's unqualified, stop talking so much about this fight then. The only thing you should be talking about is what round Errol Spence is going to end this shit. Y'all don't need to talk about the skills that Crawford doesn't possess, because it's incredibly look, it's incredibly stupid of me to think that y'all gonna give this man credit prior to the fight. Real talk. For y'all to give this man credit. So every live stream that y'all do right now, it should be absolutely pristine. I want y'all to goddamn have that damn, if y'all ever heard of verbal decor, I want your verbal decor to be so articulated. Oh my God, I want you to dress that shit up real nice when it comes talk about Errol Spence from now on. Errol Spence is gonna win this. You know what I'm saying? I want that to be your narrative, because you saying Crawford is unqualified from A all the way to Z. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing this man can do to go in there and win. Nothing Crawford can do. So y'all should just stop mentioning Crawford's name and just say, hey, I believe this fight is going to end this way, because Errol Spence is just too talented, too elite. That infamous jab has been blessed by the Black Panther themselves. He will be starring, even though he wasn't in Creed 3, he will be starring in Black Panther 8. And he's going to be using that one jab, that right hand, as the sole weapon. Seriously, I cannot make this shit up. And in the process of them making the Black Panther 8, The Return, I'm going to be writing my back. I'm going to be writing my book. Yeah. I'm going to be writing my book on the biggest scandal ever in boxing. How Terrence Crawford scammed his way up to get a fight on Vegas to become two-time undisputed, and no one know how he did it. Hey, no one knows how he did it, dog. Hey, they don't want to get his man shit. No one knows how he did it. Every opponent, he gets convoluted. Oh, shit. God damn it. Oh, my God. I know you didn't mention that. Sean Paul. Yeah, man, his daddy. His daddy. I know you ain't bringing up his daddy. His daddy stopped the fight. Kell Brook. Oh, my God. Spence already fucked him up. Damn. Jeff Horn. Oh, man, come on. Nobody knew Jeff Horn. He ain't fought nobody. He beat Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was old. Come on. What about Juice and Dongo? Oh, my God. Another no-name fighter. He was undefeated. Who cares? It's a lot of undefeated fighters in boxing. Oh, my God. I can't make this shit up, dog. I seriously, I swear to God. I swear to God. You can't make this shit up, dog. Every time, man. Hey, Derrick James. Hey, coach, you want to talk about the 10 stop? Oh, man, goddamn it, not this shit again. Fuck it. He ain't fought nobody. You talking about 10 straight stops, and who has he fought? Goddamn, dog. Shit. Do I have to go through this every time? I'm Derrick motherfucking James, man. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. I'm Derrick motherfucking James, man. I got like 20 top tier fighters that's all fighting within 3 months span, but Errol Spencer's getting all my time. I got the plan because I'm the man, okay? I'm Derrick motherfucking James, bitch. Don't ask Derrick James about Crawford's resume. That nigga pop a top. That nigga be like, oh, hell no. Who is he fought in welterweight division? Who did he fought? He ain't fought nobody. Man, you must think I'm a punk because I'm in a suit. I'm going to swing on your punk ass, nigga. I got all this motherfucking boxes going on, man. And goddamn it, you asking me about some shit. You know, you just asked me about his 10 straight knockouts. Man, I don't give a fuck about that. All we thinking about is July 29th. Crawford ain't fought nobody. And we're going to go in there with the jab. So all we doing, I got him on a goddamn 1,000. You know, I got him on 1,000 repetition jab. And all we doing is working on that jab. Pop, 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 pop. That's just the way it sounds in the gym. Him popping that jab out there. You know what I'm saying? So did you ever, it's just a question there, James. Did you ever think about bringing Blu-ray back to it? Because you said 1,000 jabs. Blu-ray was known to have Spence doing like 6,500 and 43 and a half damn push-ups prior to working out. Do you think his jab would be much more active with his attrition? Man, listen, man. I hate disruption in my gym, dog. He was building his name off us. For real. So I had to get rid of him. But that shit was working. He was on an 11-fight knockout streak. Well, don't you think it would have been a good time to bring him back in for Crawford? Why? Crawford ain't fought nobody. Blu-ray was here when we was fighting people. And Spence seemed like he was locked in. He was doing well, so he got the knockouts. But I said, okay, since he's getting knockouts, he's locked in. We're going to get rid of Blu-ray. Because, you know, everybody, one thing about me, my mom say, if you doing all the lead work and you have another black man come in and he start getting shine just like you got to get rid of him. Not only that, you got to eliminate the process of elimination. You got to go get your own building. So you could say, hey, you're not allowed in my home. I'm paying the mortgage. I'm paying the rent here. Okay. So you need to stay outside. You're not allowed in here no more. Because I'm Derek motherfucking James, bitch. He ain't fought nobody. Hey, man, I'm out.